Game, a form of sport, especially a competitive one played according to rules and decided by skill, strength, or luck. For years, two teams have played a game that affects days, weeks, months, and even years of one's life. But tonight, this game comes to an end. As the Motherlode League dismantles, one final game determines a winner. What has happened in the past is in the past. What will happen in the future is yet to come. Right now, 48 minutes separate a lifetime of memories and a lifetime of bragging rights. One county, one community, one league title. It is the Sonora Wildcats playing host to the Summerville Bears. The Motherlode League title awaits one of these two teams. NorCal Sports TV brings you the 2023 Tussle in Tuolumne. The Edward Jones pregame show. Investing is not just about creating wealth, it's about making your money work for you so you can live your life on your terms. Find your local Edward Jones advisor at edwardjones.com. 11 weeks in, and it comes down to this. Sonora Wildcats versus the Summerville Bears. I'm the voice of choice, Levi Flores. Jerimie Hurtado joining me one last time this season. It's NorCal Sports TV. Jerimie, what do you got?
I mean, yeah, this is going to be a great game. Both teams come in undefeated in league. They both come in 7-1 overall and haven't lost in a little while. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. Sonora lost their first game of the season and then rattled off 7 straight wins. Summerville lost their third game of the season and then since then haven't been really tested as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how things progress here tonight at Dunleavy Field. It's nice and cool. It's kind of the playoff atmosphere that you're looking for when you're thinking about high school football on Friday Night Lights, and it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a battle between Summerville's speed versus the efficiency of the Sonora High offense. And then again, as any football game comes down to the offense and defensive lines, I think that's going to be the biggest factor coming into this game.
Now let's look back at the Summerville Bears football season. It started in Gustine 11 weeks ago. It was 20-6 at halftime, Summerville leading the Reds, and it was the first look at the speed and the options of Summerville, and it was also the first sign, even though it was week 1, it was the first sign of weak middle defense, where the Gustine offense quarterback can go right through the middle and they can get about 5-6 yards. Will that come into play tonight? The answer is yes. It's not a maybe. The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Then the next week, it was Summerville at home versus Dos Palos, in which Dos Palos, well, they were a good team. They played them last year. Summerville barely got ahead. This year, it was a little bit different. The Broncos came to Tuolumne and took them down 34-27, and that's when the youth of Summerville hurt the results of the game. It was the most talented team the Bears have faced all season. That's going to change tonight. Schnabel blocked the field goal in the last 2 minutes, but the offense couldn't respond after they got the ball back.
Yeah, that was a game I really thought that kind of showed a weakness too in the Summerville Bears defense as far as the passing game goes. Dos Palos came out and had some gifted receivers and a quarterback that could throw the ball over place and took advantage of the secondary a little bit against Summerville and the youth like you talked about there. Now, they've made some changes. They've made some adjustments. They were able to come out and get tested against Amador in the first quarter and rebounded. So we'll see if those Bears defensive backs were able to grow up as the season goes on. Sonora doesn't throw the football a lot, but when they do, they usually are pretty effective at it. So we're going to see how that plays out as well.
After that first loss for Summerville, the first and only loss, they traveled to Waterford, the Southern League opponent, and Summerville dominated 56-14, where Summerville returned the opening kickoff and never looked back. Waterford's 2 touchdowns were last-second mistakes, not Waterford's plays, according to defensive coach Elkins, in which you go back, you watch those, it's true. It was just defensive mistakes that he made up in the booth and they made down on the field that just led to that. It wasn't necessarily Waterford's play that resulted in that touchdown. 56-14 was that final score. Then Summerville came back home, played against the Big Valley Christian Lions, in which it was the first shutout given by Summerville, 37-0. 10 different ball carriers in that game and over 2 plays over 50 yards on offense. After that, Jerimie, you traveled down to Modesto Christian with me. Summerville 49, Modesto Christian 12, in which the Summerville defensive backs got tested. It was a very physical team in the secondary, but the offense couldn't hold up for MC.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a couple guys that were very talented, and a receiver and a quarterback, but they didn't have a lot else to go with it. And so the advantage went to Summerville, and Summerville's speed just kind of took advantage and played out big against Modesto Christian that night. And again, that's been the kind of the factor. I think the biggest thing for Summerville has been the speed with Hike, Barajas, Cash, doing what they do on offense. And then when you get all that covered, you got to deal with Levros run the football. So it's been a multifaceted offense as far as that goes. But it's been all on the ground, and that's kind of been the bugaboo, I think. And then the concern, if you're a Summerville Bears fan, is, okay, if you're in the game or it's back and forth, that's fine. But if you get behind, throwing the football, other than a little shovel pass by Levros, hasn't been real effective. So hopefully, for Summerville Bears fans' sake, they can get ahead or stay even with Sonora most of the game and kind of go back and forth.
And now I was hoping you were going to say this on your own because I didn't want to force it on you. But after that Modesto Christian game, Summerville returned back home for homecoming and senior night, in which they played the Calaveras Redhawks. And this is where the gameplay totally switched for Summerville, where Levros started passing the ball more, and we saw a lot different results in the passing game. Summerville beat the Redhawks 35-7 in that game, where Levros went 4 of 7 passing with 2 passing touchdowns. And Calaveras was the only team to intercept Levros, which is a bad part of the passing game, but you still have to look at the positive numbers. Summerville averaged 10.6 yards per play in that game. And now I also know what you're going to say. Well, they do that forward pass where it's just a yard, it's not even past the line of scrimmage, but the game also differed where Brody Peters had some plays, Matthew Hike had some plays, Luke Larson even got a receiving touchdown in league play.
He did, and that's where I said you grow and you expand, right? So coming into that game, they hadn't done a lot of passing positive. They come out and they throw the ball around a little bit. Now, granted, I mean, it's 4 of 9 you said? So don't get it twisted. It's not an air raid offense where we're going to throw the ball 50 times, but it's efficient, and you're doing what you got to do and you're working into your offense. And that's where I really think Summerville's done a good job of kind of transitioning their offense and letting it kind of morph a little bit from the run all the time the first couple of weeks. Now, they do have a little bit of balance as the season's gone on. So that's, again, and you got to kind of expect that when you have a sophomore quarterback that's never really played quarterback before. You bring him in and you're going to make him run the football, and they're going to run the football and try and control the football that way. And then you're going to slowly let the kind of restraints off and say, okay, now, look, here's a one-read type of throw. You're going to read here, and if it's not there, you're going to throw it away or just run with it yourself. And so I really like the way Summerville's brought their quarterback along and done a good job as far as the offensive coordinator goes, is that situation and kind of advancing the offense and letting it grow each week.
After that game against Calaveras, that was the last home game for Summerville of the season. That'll change when it comes playoff, as Summerville, 90% chance they're going to get a first-round home game, have to travel for the second. But after that, they traveled out to Argonaut, in which the Mustangs had probably their best league game, scoring 21 points on the Summerville defense. Besides that, Levros, well, he went on a run. And not just a run literally, but figuratively as well. 4 rushing touchdowns in that game for Levros, besides a fumble and a near-perfect offensive game for Summerville occurred at Argonaut. After that, they went up to Amador, in which they won 49-18. It was the worst start to a game for the Summerville team in general, both offense and defense, where Amador scored 12 straight points. It was answered by 21 points of Summerville in 10 minutes alone. Cash went for 106 yards, and Levros, he went from having 4 rushing touchdowns the week before to having 5 that week versus the Buffaloes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you hit on it, and I kind of One thing that concerns me with Summerville tonight is this. The last couple weeks, they haven't started the games off real strong. Argonaut, you said it was 14-7 at halftime. Okay, Argonaut fumbled the football down deep inside Summerville territory, had a chance to score at the end of the first half. And then Amador, you go down there, and this is basically the same bus ride. I mean, yes, it's 4 miles further or whatever it is. But they went down there and again, kind of came out flat. Amador jumped on them. It was 12-0. We can't have that if you're a Summerville fan tonight because Sonora's been putting up tons of points in the first quarter. If you get behind Sonora in the first quarter, 2-3 scores, the game's over. Okay, they're just going to keep piling on to you. So, yes, it's only an 8-minute bus ride from Sonora to Summerville or Summerville to Sonora. But hopefully they could figure out how to come out in the first half and not come out flat.
We'll continue with more of the pregame show. We'll switch over from Edward Jones to Scott's Distributing for the Sonora Wildcat pregame show. Hello, Bears fans! Black Oak Casino Resort is very proud to help bring you tonight's live streaming of the Summerville Bears football game. If you haven't been to Black Oak Casino Resort recently, now is the time to come by and check us out. Whether you enjoy the entertainment at Willow Creek Lounge, the 5-star RV park, the beautiful Black Oak Hotel and Conference Center, the bowling alley and family fun center, all the games our casino offers, or the fine dining at Seven Sisters Restaurant, it's all there waiting for you. Thank you for watching and supporting Bears football. Enjoy the game.
Lupo. It's a name synonymous with real estate in Tuolumne County and has been for more than 30 years. The latest member of the Lupo family to join the Tuolumne County real estate family is Leanne Lupo at Keller Williams Agency. Leanne is a Tuolumne County native and knows how special the place we call home is. A hard worker who truly cares about her clients. Leanne is a special talent. And Leanne is a Summerville High School graduate and huge Bears supporter, so give her a call and see what she can do to help you. If you see her around town, please thank her for helping to make tonight's live stream possible.
Going from the Edward Jones pregame show to the Scott's Distributing pregame show, we switch over to the Sonora Wildcat season. Starting off, I believe it was here. No, it was at the Corral in Oakdale. My apologies. Another tight game between the 100-year rivals. Oakdale Mustangs, Sonora Wildcats came down to the last possession. Mustangs took it 27-20, the one and only loss for Sonora this season. Oakdale third in the Valley Oak lead this season behind Central Catholic and Manteca. Sonora's only loss of the season. Their next closest game behind this was a 32-9 win over Hillmar, in which Sonora held to 150 rushing yards in that game against Oakdale.
Yeah, against Hillmar, it was kind of a surprise to me. I thought Hillmar was going to show up a little better than that. Now Hillmar's made some adjustments and fixed things and actually changed quarterbacks since that game and gone on a roll and upset Houston last week. But the Cats kind of found their way and jumped on Houston or Hillmar early and were able to kind of get their mojo rolling. And then since then, it's been all Wildcat offense.
After that loss to Oakdale, Sonora 43, Ripon nothing. Sonora is 7-2 versus Ripon since 2014. Audie Peoples had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and that was a game we broadcast here on NorCal Sports TV. Spear came down and laid the boom on the opening kickoff, and it was set the tone for the whole game. Kind of shocked Ripon, and it was all over from there. I mean, Sonora came out and just handed Ripon everything they could ask for, and Ripon was like, okay, we're good, let's go home. And it was really, I thought, the first time Sonora came out and said, and just kind of established themselves on the season, even though they had already beat Hillmar. But I think that Ripon game was kind of the one that set the tone.
After that Ripon game, Sonora played Hillmar, which is that second closest game of their season. Like I had mentioned, Sonora averaged 5.9 yards per carry, and Sonora's defense allowed 7.6 yards per carry from Hillmar's top running back. This was also one of 3 wins versus a TVL team for Sonora. After that, Buhack Colony, 42-8 final score, 37 rushes for 367 yards, which equates to nearly 10 yards per carry, 6 rushing touchdowns from 6 different ball carriers for Sonora.
Yeah, and that's where they kind of established, hey, anybody can score at any time. It was kind of a situation where Buhack Collins a little undermanned, unfortunately, this year, and you schedule these things ahead of time, so you kind of expect it to be a little different. But you got to go out and beat the teams that are on your schedule. And then they did that. They got everybody involved, and it kind of set the tone for what was to come.
After that, Sonora 42, Livingston 13. The Sonora defense shut down the pass game, only allowed 3 receptions for 30 yards. Then Sonora entered league play. No fourth quarter scores against Argonaut. Argonaut didn't score at all, but Sonora still ended up winning 49-0. Defense didn't hold back, and only 46 total yards from the Argonaut offense.
Yeah, we were here for that game. Mario Ramos and myself called that game, and it was a dominant performance from Sonora. Argonaut couldn't get anything going, and it was 42-0 after the first drive of the second quarter, and that involved the running clock, and some of the backups for Sonora were able to hold the shutout and also put points on the board. So that's what you like to see when those backups get in, is not letting up.
After that, Sonora had their highest scoring game of the season, 63 points they put up against the Calaveras Redhawks to the Redhawks 14. The high-flying offense, but lacked on defense compared to other matchups, allowing 14 points to Calaveras.
Yeah, and it was 42-7 at the end of the first quarter. So that was one of those situations where it was, again, everybody is going to get to play, and I don't think Sonora really was worried about that extra touchdown they gave up. They were able to score 63, and then came out the next week and did a number as well.
That comes down to the last game of the season, Sonora against the Buffaloes back at Dunleavy Field. Sonora ended up taking this 55-6 with 28 first quarter points, and the only touchdown allowed was in the fourth quarter, stopping the big quarterback from Amador to only 33% pass completion.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was, again, another dominating performance. Amador struggled a lot, turned the football over, which they've been doing of late, and Sonora capitalized each time they did that. And it was just kind of one of those things. Sonora jumped on them early, like we talked about. You said 28-0 early in the game, and Amador had no answer for that.
Coming up in just a moment, we'll continue with the pregame show as we have the Summerville Bears visiting the Sonora Wildcats. Your trusted local solar installer. We are family-owned and locally operated. We offer financing with 0 money down and 0% interest. Own your solar system while cutting your energy costs in half. Call us today for a low-cost estimate and start saving. Or check us out online at www.solarworx.energy. Scott's Distributing and Vending Service. For more than 23 years, Scott's Distributing and Vending Service has been locally owned and operated. Run by folks who have a vested interest in the success and prosperity of our local economy. Learn more about our full-line vending machine services, office coffee service, and janitorial supplies by visiting scottsdistributing.net. That's scottsdistributing.net, or by calling 209-736-0963. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Jerimie Zamora, your Sonora Edward Jones financial advisor, understands this. That's why Jerimie Zamora is a proud sponsor of Sonora High Wildcat football on NorCal Sports TV. For all your investment needs, call 209-536-0422 or visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Minners Tree Company. Contact us for all your tree service, lot clearing, and defensible space needs. Minners Tree Company is locally owned and operated with over 20 years of experience serving Tuolumne County and surrounding areas. California licensed and fully insured. Check us out at minnerstreecompany.com or give us a call at 209-591-3747. One final league meeting between the Summerville Bears and the Sonora Wildcats. Dunleavy Field hosts on NorCal Sports TV.
Since 1929, the Sierra Nevada Mountains have been home to the Motherlode League. Teams have come and gone, but there is one thing that unites everyone that has taken part in this battle. Their eyes are set on one prize, the Motherlode League title. For 10 years, it has been Amador, Argonaut, Calaveras, Bret Harte, Sonora, and Summerville. 8 solo titles belong to the Wildcats through the decade, and 1 shared title in 2019 with Amador and Calaveras. For the second straight year, it comes down to this. Summerville, versus Sonora. Dunleavy Field is the home of the final league meeting between the Summerville Bears and the Sonora Wildcats. The 2023 tussle in Tuolumne starts right now.
Run up the middle. Oh, my Lord. He is gone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It could be. He's going to run it all the way for a touchdown. Summerville Bears.
Take up the middle. He keeps it. He's gone. He's gone. He'll cut back with the block, or will he go all the way? Touchdown, Sonora. He hands it off to him. It looks like it worked. He's gone. He's going to go all the way. There is absolutely positively nobody anywhere near him. Touchdown, Somerville Bears.
Rocket under center. Keeps it. No. Handoff up the middle to Fernandez. Room.
Oh, that's McDonald.
McDonald's back in and he scores. Touchdown, Wildcats. Two-step under pressure. He's going to roll to his left. Makes the throw. He's got room on the sideline. Falling forward. He's got it. Still down the sideline. Still going. House call. Summerville Bears.
Touchdown.
1st and 10 from the Bears 23. Curnow under center now looking to throw right side. He's got Milborn in the end zone. Up and in. Touchdown, Sonora. That's Tommy Warfield pitching it back out to Leveros, who's looking in the end zone. He's got a man down there. Touchdown, Somerville. Seen field goals like that since Rob Hoyt.
Another pass, Pimentel, touchdown, Sonora! And they will have another opportunity on 3rd and 5. Deep down the right side, Trimoloni caught, touchdown, Somerville! Curnow fakes this one again, pitches out Jack Team around the side, touchdown, Sonora! Leveros gets some protection, rolling right side, he needs something. Leveros throws, final seconds, yes! Kyle Curran, touchdown, Somerville! Summerville, Sonora, Dunleavy Field, one final time. I'm the voice of choice, Levi Flores. He's Jerimie Hurtado. Danny Scott doing stats for us as well. Thanks for joining us on NorCal Sports TV. And if you have a Facebook account, you can go to Facebook, follow the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. We're going to have live polls and trivia throughout the game, so you can go there, you can vote, you can answer the trivia questions. NorCal's Voice of Choice on Facebook. And now let's get into our predictions. Jerimie Hurtado first.
I really, if you've watched our show Striking Gold on NorCal Sports TV, I'm going to stick with my prediction. I think Sonora just has too much on offense for Summerville to control, and I have it 49-21 Sonora.
And for myself, I broke down some numbers. I think Sonora's going to score 37, but I just have to go with Summerville, who I think is going to take the victory, and I'm going to go with close to their average score per game, 42 points. So I have Summerville 42, Sonora 37, and Danny Scott with us as well.
I think I'm going to have to go with Jerimie on this one. I'm going to go with Sonora tonight, 42 to Summerville's 28.
Thank you, Danny. And here, Adeo Espresso and Smoothies kickoff. It is Summerville launching it to the Wildcats. Bryson Benitez puts this one on the ground at the 25, picked up at the 11. Sonora Wildcats offense will start with a drive down the left side, and he has to get past Benitez, not going to take the tackle. Cuts back across towards the Summerville sideline. Schnabel trying to drag him down. Finally does inside the 30, but the Wildcats with fantastic starting field position.
No, absolutely, and that's a way to kind of get things going if you're the Cats. Big cutback there. No one able to bring him down. Finally, Schnabel, the last chance, grabs him by the shoulder pad and just hangs on. And now the Cats open up first drive of the game inside Bears territory at the 27-yard line.
On the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page, I asked yesterday, who do you think will take it this year? And 50% of the people, 51%, excuse me, said Sonora will get a victory this year. And usually that would mean 49% take Summerville. But that is not the case. 33% said Summerville is going to win. And we had 16% say that I hope both teams just have fun.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that scenario, but right now the Wildcats having fun, and they have the ball inside the 25-yard line. opening possession. Chance to jump on the Bears early.
Curno's going to keep this one on 2nd and 7, and will have to be wrapped down by a pack of Bears. The ball came out, but they said he's down first. When we look back to last year's matchup, Sonora's first drive went 61 yards with 1 pass and 11 rush, but it got turned over by a fumble on the far sideline, and Summerville was able to take that. Here, almost the same thing.
Yeah, that's where you got to really be careful if you're a Sonora Wildcat. Yeah, I know you like to drive for those extra yards, but Summerville, very well taught on the defensive end. They know, hey, stand them up and start stripping at the football, try and get it out. They practice it, I know this for a fact, all the time, and they are real good at creating those turnovers.
Here goes a man left sideline, not going to do it. 1 yard line for number 7, Cash Byington.
Yeah, Byington trying to get on the scoreboard early last week. Had the punt return for a touchdown. This time just gets the edge. No outside contain there for Summerville. And just looked like he scored. But they're going to mark him out the 1 yard line.
Reese Wynn will come into play for Summerville, taking out Trenton Miller. And Sonora at the 1.
Audie Peoples time here for the Wildcats. Or you can just give it to the quarterback and let him lean in and get it.
Run up the middle, touchdown Sonora. 1 minute, 23 seconds. A large kickoff return puts him inside the 30, and Adam Curno punches it in for 6.
Yeah, Cats take advantage of the good field position on the special teams, able to go in and get points on the opening drive. Big momentum boost for Sonora.
Here's Garibay for the extra point. Put up the Wildcats 7-0. It drops down into the Golden Regiment Band. That's where we stand. 7-0 Wildcats leading the Summerville Bears.
United Insurance Services offers quality insurance coverage, a high level of professional service, and a long-term relationship. They have several locations throughout California to serve your needs, including Elk Grove, Lodi, Napa, Roseville, Sonora, Walnut Creek, and Minden, Nevada. As independent agents, they'll research rates and coverage from top insurance companies to find the best insurance rates and insurance plans for you. They do the shopping and comparing, so you can save time and money. Hello, Bear fans! Boyer Construction is proud to help bring you tonight's broadcast.
Sonora getting on the board first, 7-0 over the Summerville Bears, and we have the Minners Tree Company kickoff. Thanks to the people that voted in our first live poll of the game. We had the question, who will score first, Sonora or Summerville? 60% of the fans got it right with Sonora. Summerville will start their first offensive drive from the 21-yard line.
Yeah, now if you're Summerville, you got to kind of come back and match, right? You got to look at this as we can't let Sonora get too far ahead of you. If you're Summerville, you don't want to get down 2-3 scores. So you have to come out here and maybe not get points on the board, but at least establish a situation where you can flip field position and not give the ball back to the Wildcats quickly.
Shout out to Steve and Cindy Lee. Mr. Lee recovering from knee replacement surgery, but thanks for watching on NorCal Sports TV. Here is the Summerville first play of the game. Colton Cash goes behind the line, minus 2 yards, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, great job there. Spear leading the way for Sonora. Also Gibbs in there to get the tackle. As you see on the replay here, just shooting through the holes and not allowing Cash to get anything going. Being up a loss of 3 on the play.
Second and 12. Leveros will pitch this out to Tristan Barajas, who tries spinning out, but the tough hands of Bryce Nicholson able to throw him down. And a late flag. This will be our first penalty of the game. Last year, in which it was the two best teams we've seen in a long time between Sonora and Summerville, we didn't see a penalty until 3 minutes, 50 seconds left in the second quarter.
Yeah, and this one I think is going against Summerville. As someone probably said something. goes against Colton Cash as they call the number out even here. So we're big time here on the NorCal Sports TV with the officials mic'd up, and Cash gets called for the penalty, brings up a second and long. Actually, it's going to be third and long because it was after the play.
Third and very long for the Bears.
Brody Peters at the top of your screen for Summerville. Barajas in motion. Upside flick to Austin Hike. And he is going to break free from the initial defender and march forward for 5. But it is a long fourth down for the Summerville Bears.
Yeah, and I think Hike's going to be a big deal here. Getting him back. He's been injured, banged up. And he hasn't scored in league, if I'm correct, right, Levi? Hasn't got on the board in league play, I don't believe.
Austin Hike, no touchdowns in league. His last touchdown came against Modesto Christian back on September 22nd. But even with that, he is the leading rusher on the team with 565 yards.
Yeah, getting him back and hopefully he's healthy could be a huge benefit for Summerville.
And not only that, but he also leads the team in yards per carry at 12 yards per carry, the second most being at 8.3. Bryce Leveros punts this one down to the 50 at midfield. Sonora will start their second drive on offense.
Yeah, and this is kind of that situation you didn't want, right? You give the ball back to the Wildcats, and it's at midfield.
Penalty flag on the play.
And now there's another penalty on the play. So we talked about this during the JV game. These rivalry games can get a little chippy sometimes.
Illegal substitution on the kicking team.
Summerville has 12 guys on the field, so that's going to be a situation where it's going to be even better field position for the Wildcats.
This will bring us to our first trivia question. Remember, NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. You can follow along, answer the trivia questions, but I'll ask you, Jerimie, maybe you can have some sort of mention. Coach Leveros has been the head coach of the Summerville Bears since the 2015 season. Through 9 years as head coach, what is Coach Leveros's win-loss record?
Ooh. That's a good question. Let me think about that for a second.
You can think about it, too, and put your guess at the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. And here we have a flag before the play.
Brought down by number 15. Prior to the snap, false start.
False start on Sonora, so it'll be 1st and 15.
So you said 9 years he's been at the helm?
9 years head coach.
Or is this his 9th year?
This is the 9th year.
Okay, this is the 9th year. All right.
It'll be 1st down 15.
We want his percentage or total wins?
The win-loss record.
I'm going to say 78 and 13.
Okay. Here is a handoff for Audi Peoples. He gets a yard. It's going to be 2nd and 14. We'll keep the answer for a couple of minutes, allow some comments to roll in on the Facebook page.
And just for the record, no, I did not look it up. I was just using the calculator to figure out how many games per. But, yeah, I mean, I'm going to say he's won probably 90% of the games that he's had. So
2nd down and 14.
Adam Curnow brings the offense back to the line of scrimmage. The 49 is where they're at for 2nd and 14. Curnow will drop back to pass. The southpaw nearly picked off by Peters, but it falls incomplete. Intended target was Eli Ingalls, who is the backup sophomore quarterback for Sonora.
Yeah, absolutely. And Peters here breaks on this real well when you see the replay here. Just out of screen, actually. But Peters does a good job of breaking on that and coming up and making the play. Now what you got to look for if you're Sonora is, okay, he's going to bite that hard on that hitch. You go double move, you hitch, pump, and then you run the vert off of it and see if you can get him on a double move.
Curnow throwing again for the second time. It is going to be reeled in by Nicholson. 4th down for Sonora, but Nicholson gives him that much closer to the line.
Yeah, nice catch there. He lays out for it and becomes a 4th and manageable now. It's 4th and 6, according to the PA system. I wouldn't be shocked if they go for this here. And nothing else, you try and draw them off sides with a hard count.
Sonora doesn't throw much, but here throwing back-to-back plays caught Summerville off guard. Not going to go at the hard count. Curnow hit from behind by Rathmill. Ball is loose, picked up by Peoples, and Summerville will start their second drive in Sonora territory.
Absolutely, and Bryce Rathmill doing what he does. This is kind of what he's been doing all year long, and we talk about it on our show, and every time I do one of his games, you see him just make plays, and that time Peoples misses the block, and Rathmill from the blind side just blows up the quarterback. Luckily for Sonora, they're able to jump on it, but the Summerville takes over right there inside Wildcat territory.
Barajas in motion. Leveros handoff to Cash. Cash hit at the line and only goes a yard. And on that last play, I saw Rathmill come from that outside line, and with Curnow being a left-handed player, he cannot see Rathmill. And Rathmill is the heaviest hitter on that Summerville defense. So he came flying through, no one to stop him, and taking that hit, one, it hurt, and two, he gave up the ball.
And it's going to be something he remembers, too. He's going to go to the sideline and be like, hey, we got to get that guy blocked. I'm sorry that doesn't work for me. Getting planted like that, not something that any quarterback likes to do.
2nd and 9, it'll be Hike in motion. Leveros will pitch it out to him. A few Wildcats are in the backfield, stopping Hike from going anywhere. In fact, losing 2 more rushing yards.
Yeah, and that time, again, Sonora just cuts off the angle on that pitch. Davis able to bring him down in the backfield.
3rd down and 12.
Byington also there for Sonora. So one of those things where if I'm Summerville, I'm seeing all those guys flying to that, I might go fake and come back with that little toss underneath. It's been successful for him to try and get that flow motion away.
And here we have Trenton Miller at the top, Orlando Lopez, Matthew Hike as receiving options. Leveros will just take it and throw it. He finds Barajas right over the middle for somewhat of a screen, but Barajas is taken down by 5 green jerseys.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just a screen play. Not much there, but I do think there's a flag on the sideline as well.
Craig making the tackle for Wildcat.
And the Summerville offensive linemen were clapping, so it might be something against Sonora.
Flag on the play. Face mask.
Face mask
Against the defense.
against Sonora. Matthew Hike goes back to the sidelines for Summerville as Leveros gets the call. They will keep out Orlando Lopez and Trenton Miller on the field.
Yeah, it's still going to be 3rd down. The Chains are thinking that they were moving, but it's not. It's going to be a 3rd and 4. It's only the 5-yard variety, not the full version. So Summerville taking a while here in the huddle.
Leveros brings the team up to the line. Empty backfield. Not something you see very often.
Yeah, there's some confusion here, and it's because I don't believe it's 4th down. I think it's supposed to be 3rd down. The Chains kind of got things messed up, and then the announcement said 4th and 4, when I believe it should be 3rd and 4, but we'll see who's right here.
Our first trivia question of the night, by the way, Coach Leveros has been the head coach of the Summerville Bears since the 2015 season. Through the years as head coach, what is Coach Leveros' win-loss record? And Jerimie, you said?
I said 78, I think, and 13 is what I said, something like that.
78 and 13. Our one and lone comment from my dad said 80 and 10, but the actual win-loss record of Coach Leveros, 46 and 40.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you'd lost that many games.
Leveros takes it himself. He gets to the line to gain, but will they mark him there or just a tad short?
Yeah, I think they're going to go just short, and I don't think it matters. Summerville's probably going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
Ludwig making the tackle for the Wildcats.
So 46 and 40. Okay, that's interesting there.
First few years struggled a little bit. Was at that 4 and 6 mark for most of it, and then these last 2 years only taking 2 total losses.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking, I kind of averaged it out by 3 a year, trying to figure things out, and I was like, a little less than that, so good.
4th and 1, Leveros.
Leveros, the ball carrier.
Oh, it's going to be close. Still, he only had to get a yard.
Gibbs and Davis.
We'll see what they decide to do. What might even bring out the Chains on this. We'll see.
Sonora pointing
saying
in
they held him
their
short,
direction.
But that's kind of what they do, right? Everybody does that. Oh, he's short. It's our ball. And now they're going to actually bring the Chains out as well. So get a chance to see this here. up close and personal. It's going to be a first down either way. It's going to be a first down Sonora or first down Summerville. And it's going to be first down Sonora.
Just a few inches short. Summerville stopped for the second time.
Yeah, and that was a big stop for the Sonora defense because they turned the ball over on fourth down on that blindside hit by Rathmel. And instead of giving up any points, they didn't even give up a first down. Get the ball back after 4 plays.
Curnow under center to start this drive. He'll pull it out of Peoples and flick it out to the open man who cuts up field to the 50. That is number 7, Cash Byington, the sophomore slot back.
Yeah, he's quick. He's one of those guys that can take it to the house anytime. He scored twice last week for the Wildcats. And again, he gets in space here. Nice tackle flying in there from the secondary by the Summerville Bears. Cuts him down and keeps him from getting even more yards on the play.
This time, Curnow does go to Peoples, who spins through. The spin cycle is washing, and Peoples makes his way to the 34. 2 plays, 2 first downs. Sonora knocking back on the door.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's just good blocking up front. Spoops through the hole, not able to. Might have got away with a hold there. Being honest. Regardless, gets through the hole and then makes multiple defenders to bring him down.
Curnow pulls out, pitches to Nicholson. Nicholson will be able to stay on his feet for a few extra yards, nearly taken down by Barajas.
And we got another flag.
But pushes through. And Tristan Barajas was actually the leading tackler for Summerville in last year's game as a junior.
And then here you see Summerville's outside contain just getting hooked, allowing the Wildcat runners to get into the second level. And then I think the Wildcats are also going to get called for a penalty on this. Nope.
They're going to wave off that flag, and Sonora will make their way back to the line for second and short.
7-yard gain on play, 2nd and 3.
Okay, brings up a 2nd and 3 for the Wildcats. But that's one thing Summerville can't do is have your defensive ends, outside linebackers, whoever's in charge of contain has to stay home. Again,
Pitch to Byington. Byington wrapped up by Leveros.
Yeah, Leveros comes up, marking it at Sonora. Got to be careful here. You don't want to get another 15-yard penalty. You already got one earlier. Not Leveros, but Summerville in general. I know you're excited. You made a big play. Brings up a 3rd down. But you can't give them a first down.
3rd down and 7.
Eli Ingalls makes his way to the top of your screen. At the bottom is Wyatt Holt. The fake to Peoples, the give to Declan Gardner, and he earns the Sonora first down.
Yeah, and Gardner got 2 touchdowns last week in the win versus Amador, getting a little bit more playing time early. And nice job there on the counter play by the Wildcats. You see him go in motion, fake the handoff, and then come back with that little counter to Gardner.
Reese Wynn and Trenton Miller swap places again. Miller now in the field of play. Wynn goes off. Curnow inside the red zone. Curnow throwing. Rathmel nearly got there, and Orlando Lopez just a hand up in the face of Wyatt Holt to force an incompletion. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and this is built off that same play that they got the sack last time. They faked that little toss. See Rathmel coming. Don't block him on purpose, trying to go underneath him. But just not able to. Good coverage there by Orlando, keeping the slant unavailable for the Wildcats. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Curnow probably saw Rathmel coming and said, don't want to feel that again, and got rid of it early.
I'm sure.
Incomplete. This will be a run again by Gardner. Launches his feet forward for 3 extra yards. So we talked about Coach Leveros in our first trivia question of the game, although let's move our focus to the Sonora side, not necessarily fully on Coach Craig, but just the entire Sonora team in general. Week 3 of the season, Sonora head coach Brian Craig became the most winning head coach in Sonora High history with 109 wins. Since the first Sonora High football season, how many wins have the Wildcats accrued?
Since the first season in 1933 or whatever?
1929,
whatever it was?
I believe.
Oh, goodness. That's too much math, Levi. I don't know. That's a lot. I have a little brain that only got the Grand Canyon University degree. I don't know. Let's see. I have to try and do some math again. This is going to hurt.
If you'd like to play along with the trivia questions and live polling, NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. Find it there and comment. Here's Curnow throwing. It is caught. Touchdown, Sonora! Brody Spear, the sophomore, with the receiving touchdown at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. Spear doing a great job there of getting the slant, making the play. This time, Jones lets the inside release go, and Spear able to make a play on the ball, get it, and then not being denied to get into the end zone.
Emmanuel Garibay to make it a 14-0 lead for the Sonora Wildcats.
The point attempt is good. Number 26, Emmanuel Jerimie.
Oh, it's a name synonymous with real estate in Tuolumne County and has been for more than 30 years. The latest member of the Lupo family to join the Tuolumne County real estate family is Leanne Lupo at Keller Williams Agency. Leanne is a Tuolumne County native and knows how special the place we call home is. A hard worker who truly cares about her clients. Leanne is a special talent, and Leanne is a Summerville High School graduate and huge Bear supporter, so give her a call and see what she can do to help you. If you see her around town, please thank her for helping to make tonight's live stream possible.
Hello, Bears fans. The Bears Quarterback Club is excited to help bring you Bears football live streamed into your home or your device. Enjoy all the Bears football action on this TV quality broadcast. This is our way of saying thank you to the
Sonora Wildcats make it 14-0 over the Summerville Bears, and Summerville will get it back with the return from Tristan Barajas. Barajas will try the center and have nowhere to go. The 20-yard line is where the Bears will start drive number 3 with 48 seconds to go in the first.
All right, Levi, I'm just going to throw out a number because I have no idea. So I'm going to say 513.
513 wins for Sonora in their school history.
Yep, that's I know between the two winningest coaches, there's 220. So I'm just going to, there you go.
That's good math.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
You know, I mean, I know they got 18 league titles, so there's
Leveros thrown down by the horse collar. Nasty tackle by the Wildcats, Ryan Gibbs.
You can see the replay here. Leveros rolls out to his right, and absolutely, Gibbs grabs him by the back inside the jersey and brings him down. That's kind of the poster child of horse collar tackle.
Free first down and free yards for the Summerville offense. Leveros seems to be fine going back to the side, getting the next play call. And now at the 37-yard line, 36 make it.
Danny Scott, our statistician, you got a guess on the number of wins for Sonora High School?
Colton Cash puts the ball up the middle, and that Sonora defensive line just continues to fill the gaps.
You went to school here for a little bit. I mean, maybe you have a better idea than I do. 642, he says. All right, that's like the price of right. We'll see who's closest.
We got one comment on the post. Go to NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page and comment under the trivia questions. Follow along with the polls. And that is going to be at the end of the first quarter. We'll have the answer to that question when we come back. 14-0 Wildcats over the Bears in the final league matchup.
Scott's Distributing and Vending Service. For more than 23 years, Scott's Distributing and Vending Service has been locally owned and operated. Run by folks who have a vested interest in the success and prosperity of our local economy. Learn more about our full-line vending machine services, office coffee service, and janitorial supplies by visiting scottsdistributing.net. That's scottsdistributing.net, or by calling 209-736-0963.
Benton Roberson CPA's passion is helping people achieve business success and financial independence. While we certainly provide traditional accounting services such as tax preparation, payroll, and bookkeeping, we also offer a variety of advisory services to help with business planning, social security decisions, income and asset growth, tax efficiency, and much more. Benton Roberson CPA.
Sonora 14, Somerville 0 at the end of one. Somerville, Bryce Leveros rolling, has to do something, stays on his feet, out of trouble, throws it, incomplete. First play of the second quarter nearly ended in disaster for the Somerville Bears. Luckily, the ball falls to the turf at the 40. I'm the voice of choice, Levi Flores. I have Jerimie Hurtado next to me, Danny Scott, also our statistician, and our second trivia question of the night was about the total wins of Sonora's football team in history. The question, week 3 of the season, Sonora head coach Brian Craig became the most winning head coach in Sonora history with 109 wins. But since the first Sonora high school football season, how many wins have the Wildcats accrued? Jerimie, you said 513. Danny said 642. Our lone comment said 900 as Leveros bobbles this one. Gets a block from Kyle Salaya. Leveros will throw, and it is batted away by Nicholson to the Somerville sideline. Another incomplete pass.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his 94-ish years of football, okay, now you can't. I don't know how many games they played in 1929. I mean, so I just went, okay, what's 6 times 94, and then took a little bit off of it. I figured, 6 wins a season. Go with 513. Sound like a good number to me. So I'm interested to see the answer here.
Well, you are the closest out of the 3 guesses. 562 wins by the Sonora high school football team.
There we go. That's a point for me. I'm going to take that one. I'll have that one. Okay.
Somerville's offense through the first quarter, only 13 yards of total offense.
Yeah, that's impressive by the Wildcat defense.
Leveros' punt will be recorded to the 37, and Sonora's offense will make its return with the lefty, Adam Curnow.
Absolutely, and while you're getting shout-outs, we got Larry Blackmore while listening from Idaho. He just messaged me and said, hey, tell Danny Scott I said hello. I haven't seen him in a while, so there you go, Danny Scott. You got a shout-out all the way from Idaho, see?
You can either join us on the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page for question live polling, or you can go right down in the YouTube comments, in which we will also monitor here and there throughout the game. 366 people currently watching. Thanks to everyone commenting on this. Let us know where you're watching from down below in the comments. Here's Curnow. Right over the middle, Nicholson! The reception to the 25. Sonora again with a massive play.
And that's what we talked about in the pregame show. Sonora doesn't throw the ball a lot, but when they do, it's usually off some kind of play-action look, and it's usually pretty consistently open. And that time, Nicholson behind the safety, Barajas, and Barajas does a great job of just getting there and making the tackle.
37 yards in the first down, that nice pass play from Adam Curnow to Bryce.
Peoples, the single back for Curnow. He wraps around, hands it to Nicholson, who just had the reception. He's inside the 5 and finds the golden turf of Sonora. Touchdown, Wildcats.
And when you find the guy that does the work, you reward him by giving him a chance to make the touchdown. There it is. Nice counter play again by the Cats. This time, nobody home on the backside. And Nicholson goes up and over the top into the end zone for the touchdown.
Sonora's offense showing out early at Dunleavy Field. Emmanuel Garibay for another extra point attempt will split the uprights evenly. 21-0, the Wildcats for the third time scoring tonight.
Ranch Casino is a proud sponsor of the Somerville Bears Quarterback Club, and they support Somerville High student athletes. By working together, Chicken Ranch Casino believes we can all help elevate each and every student-athlete's game, both on the field and in the classroom.
Taylor Rector watching from Ceres, Matthew Baker watching from Ripon, Ryan McDonald watching from Bellingham, Washington, all three saying go Bears. Garibay launches this deep inside the 5 to Barajas. The Summerville switcheroo, it worked out for the JV team. Barajas has it at the top. He faked out multiple Wildcats, had a man 2 feet from him, and didn't even know he had the ball.
Yeah, good job of selling the fake by Barajas. Byington, though, was not fooled, and he was able to come in and make the play.
The Sonora FFA has whole tri-tips available. They have 15 and 15 only. They are $30 a piece. Hurry now and get your tri-tips.
Another shout out to Carr family out in Tuolumne. Loretta, Robert, and Christopher, and the rest of them out there watching on NorCal Sports TV, rooting for the Bears as well.
Number 6, the ball carrier, Cash.
Colton Cash gaining 1 yard for the Summerville offense. We have some former players as well watching. Kenny Scott from the Sonora Wildcats and Nick Veach from the Summerville Bears watching in Forest Grove, Oregon, playing together now at the college level.
Kenny Scott, who's that?
Danny, care to comment?
How's
Leveros.
it going, Kenny? Good to see you listening and watching. Good luck up there in Pacific.
Colton Cash going to be stopped at the line again. It'll be a long 3rd down.
Cash, the ball carrier, brought down by Byington.
Kenny Scott played for us over at Bret Hart for a little bit and then came over here and finished his eligibility of career playing at Sonora, so giving him a little hard time, plus his brother's right next to us too, so that helps out as well. So.
Former Somerville Bear watching from Sparks, Nevada, my sister, Jody Flores, also her birthday. So happy birthday to my
Jody,
sister.
see? You're nice and warm. We're out here, getting chill here by the minute.
Leveros, pass over the middle, hit hard from behind. Bears can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that screenplay blown up by the Wildcats. Cruzy not buying any of it. Again, you see him just come up and make the stop. So things kind of snowballing on the Bears here early in the game.
Leveros will get set to punt, I believe for the 3rd time. And this will be high and up. Have a chance at a few players to get down there, but it just battles out near midfield. Sonora will get it back with just under 9 to play in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, and again, good field position as they're going to have it at their own 48-ish yard line, maybe 49. Chance for the Wildcats to really put some pressure on Summerville here.
Let's go to trivia question number 3.
All right.
Summerville's coach, Dave Woods, not head coach but assistant coach, has been part of the Bears coaching staff in one way or another since 1990. As a head coach in his career, Woods amassed a record of 165 wins, 92 losses, and 3 ties. Watch this play from Audie Peoples, who has a great run up the middle, gaining 9 yards. But in his time at Summerville, he had the chance to coach his sons, Josh, Tim, and Dave Jr. Coach Dave Woods and his sons were paired together for 8 straight years. How many league titles were won during their time paired together?
See, now this one I have a chance to answer, okay? I like this one better than the other ones.
All right, we'll keep your answer for a couple of minutes
There
until we get there. Go to the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page and comment your guess. It's 1 through 8. Those are your guesses, so it's a little bit easier than the possible thousands like in some of the other ones. Flag goes as Curnow escapes the pocket. He gets the first and is tackled down by the tight end, defensive end, Mix Hunter Anderson.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, and everybody's walking back, so it usually shows that it's against Sonora.
Offense. 5 yard penalty in the previous spot. 3rd down.
2nd down.
In the first quarter, Sonora's offense, 82 rushing yards, 20 receiving yards for a total of 102 offensive yards, which nearly multiplied by 10 to what Summerville was able to amass.
No, absolutely, and it's been kind of everything's going one-sided here for Sonora, and Summerville's got to find a way to just make a play on defense here. Got to get a spark, whatever it is, defense, special teams, something to just get you back in the football game here in the first half.
Curnow to throw. Rathmill came from behind but stopped by the line. Nicholson will break free for another first down and even more. The red zone. Peters is the last line of defense, but Nicholson slips down on his own.
Yeah, the turf monster got him there. Otherwise, he might have scored. You see, just out of the outstretched hands of the defensive lineman, and then Nicholson making people miss. And like I said, just gets tripped up there.
Yards on a nice catch and run by number 14,
Bryce Nicholson, the workhorse for this Wildcat offense, doing it on the run, doing it in the air, and looking to go up 28-0 over Summerville. Here's Peoples. He gets to the 6.
Brought down by number 5, Riley Neves.
Nevis there on the tackle for Summerville. He's been the leading tackler all season long
6-yard gain on the
for
play.
Summerville, and now Cats going up tempo.
Peoples back on the run. Gets 1.
Audie Peoples on the carry for the Wildcats. On the stop for Summerville, number 59, Coleman Oz.
Going to bring up a 3rd and short for Sonora, even though the chain guy hasn't moved. There we go. He's taking a second to do it.
2.
Counter again to Byington.
Byington, the ball carrier.
Looks like he's got enough for the first down as well.
Keeping the drive alive for Sonora as it was
22, Bryce Rathmel.
just a yard away, and now it's 1st and goal. See if the Summerville goal line defense can hold up.
Yeah, it's tough against this Cats defensive line, especially with this triple option. You got guys you have to defend, Peoples, and then you got Byington and Nicholson. And then when that all fails, you got the quarterback that can take it as well. So it's real tough down here inside the 5-yard line.
Reaching out with the arm is Nicholson. He breaks the plane before the ball comes loose. Touchdown, Sonora. And here's another flag after the play. Count the 6 points, and we'll see what the officials say.
Here's the replay. Touchdown's definitely good as you see Nicholson reach out and do. And then I think it's going to be on Summerville again. But we'll see. Yep, it's going to be on Summerville on the kickoff.
They're saying unsportsmanlike conduct from the initial reactions of the White Hat. And now we'll go back to that question about Coach Dave Woods. 165 wins, 92 losses, 3 ties in his time as a head coach overall, not just at Summerville. But in his time at Summerville, he had the chance to coach his 3 sons, Josh, Tim, and Dave Jr. How many league titles were won where Coach Woods was paired with one of his sons?
So I know the last 2 seasons, they went undefeated in league both times because 97, 96. I'm going to say he got 7. I think it was Josh's. Danny Scott says 5. I think it was Josh's first year they didn't win league.
We'll give you the answer when we come back as the Sonora Wildcats lead 28-0 over the Summerville Bears.
Bears fans, Nate Solon Mower is pleased to support tonight's Bears football broadcast. They're your go-to retailer when you need a steel project to do the job, at home or at work. Visit their store, where friendly, knowledgeable staff will assist you in finding the right steel for the job, whether it's a chainsaw, blower, trimmer, pressure washer, or anything in between. Nate's Solid Mower on Longeway Road in Sonora.
Hello, Bears fans. Black Oak Casino Resort is very proud to help bring you tonight's live streaming of the Summerville Bears football.
Sonora 28, Summerville nothing for the final league meeting between the Bears and the Wildcats. I'm the voice of choice, Levi Flores. Jerimie Hurtado with me. Danny Scott on our side, too. We'll occasionally give him the microphone through the rest of the game.
Now, someone forgot about the penalty there on the touchdown, but there we go. Somebody on the Sonora sideline just reminded them, hey, there's supposed to be a penalty here.
They're going to move the ball up, and we'll take it back to
thinking
our
about that
last
trivia question again. I'm going to change my. I'm going to go with 6. Okay, because I know Summerville's looking for a number if they won today, and I'm going to go with 6.
How many league titles were won during the time where Coach Dave Woods had one of his sons on his team? And, well, we have a few answers, a few guesses. J.D. Rathmill says 6 as well. Eddie Cruz, watching from Houston, Texas, says 4. Matt Soto says 3. Don Perkins says 3. Larry Blackmore says 3. But the official answer, 4 league titles when Coach Dave Woods and his son were paired up together. And, Jerimie, you were on one of those teams.
I was, yeah. That's why I said I know number 96. We went 10-0 and lost in the first round in the playoffs to Houston. And then the next year they went 9-1, I believe, and lost in the first round to Ripon. And then we're undefeated in both of those league plays. So I knew there were at least 2. Yeah, but okay, 4. I can go with that.
Summerville has 7 Motherlode League titles in its existence. The first one came back in 1962. They won back-to-back titles, 1963. They didn't get another one until the 91 season, which was the first with Coach Dave Woods, and that was his first season at Summerville. The year before, he was down at Modesto Christian, but in 91, then 95, 96, and 97 until the final one, which is in 2009. Leveros throwing this over the shoulder of Brody Peters, and it's incomplete, clean of penalty flags.
And then in 2000, like you said, that was under Woods as well?
2009.
No, that
I don't know.
Watson, I believe.
So. But when looking at it, 4 of the 7 Motherlode League titles came under head coach Dave Woods.
Yeah, sounds about right.
When we look at the Sonora side as well, their Motherlode League titles, 15 in total. Their first one came back in 1931, just a few years into their football generation, and then sprinkling through the 40s, and then back in 2014 when they rejoined the Motherlode League, were able to get 9 straight. Here's Barajas throwing it to Peters. He has the first down through the air.
And that's the longest play of the night for the Bears there. They run a little trick play, halfback option pass. Barajas, this time the chosen quarterback of choice. We've seen the other guys throw the football for Summerville in past games. This time, Peters makes the catch. Maybe that's a spark the Bears need. Sorry, Levi.
Another run hit at the line. Just can't go anywhere in this rushing game. But the previous long for Summerville's offense was 7 yards, and that was a pass to Tristan Barajas.
Barajas, the ball carrier.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding tonight for the Summerville Bears on offense.
Cruising on the stop for the Wildcats.
Tristan Barajas has had the 1 reception, 2 rushes, and now 1 pass, in which, when we look at him through the season, his last rushing touchdown was against Calaveras on September 29th on homecoming. He's the only player with defensive touchdowns, in which he has 2 of them. He leads in interceptions, also 2, and then he leads in fumble recoveries, in which he has 3. He does both sides of the ball and plays very well, as Leveros will be tracked down, has to evade the pocket and still be chased by multiple Wildcats, falling forward for about 7.
Yeah, good job of Leveros just to escape there. And there's a defensive lineman for the Wildcats that just came through untouched. Unable to make the play, though, and just got him running around. Leveros picks up 7.
On the play, 3rd down and 3.
4 minutes to play in the first half. Sonora up 28-0 over Summerville. Leveros will be alone in the backfield. He has 1 receiver at the top with Barajas wrapping around. Will stop short and come back, and Sonora is going to bring down a defensive back in Cash Byington in hopes to take down Barajas before any possible motion, but we'll get a timeout first. On the Summerville side, 3 minutes, 39 seconds to play in the first half.
Your trusted local solar installer. We are family owned and locally operated. We offer financing with 0 money down and 0% interest. Own your solar system while cutting your energy costs in half. Call us today for a low-cost estimate and start saving. Or check us out online at www.solarworx.energy. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Jerimie Zamora, your Sonora Edward Jones financial advisor, understands this. That's why Jerimie Zamora is a proud sponsor of Sonora High Wildcat football on NorCal Sports TV. For all your investment needs, call 209-5.
Summerville with the ball, 3rd and 3. Looking for that first down and possibly the end zone before the half, if they can. Here's Leveros pitching to Barajas. He has a block from Trenton Miller. Bryce Nicholson has other plans. Throws him down for a loss of 3.
And again, that speed that's been so effective for Summerville all season kind of been negated so far here tonight. They haven't been able to get on track, haven't been able to get outside. Cat's doing a good job of just keeping contain, and that time throwing them down for a loss of 3 on the play.
Going to bring a 4th down for the Bears, 4th and 6.
Don Perkins, I appreciate the comment on the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. He says the answer is 3, but the answer is 4. 91, 95, 96, and 97, all league titles under Coach Woods. 2009 was under Coach Watson, but still able to get 4 during the 90s, and that's with his sons. Of course, no Woods' son played during 2009.
Now we got confusion and shifting and guys going everywhere. Perkins was an assistant coach there for some time too, so.
Leveros throwing to Barajas, reaches forward and tackled down. Ball goes out, and they're going to say that with the fumble, they're going to lose 7 yards.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
Because I believe there was a stop of forward momentum, which should put the ball at the first down marker, and it looks like that's what they will be changing it to.
And even if
Rolling on the field was the receiver was down down on the field. First down, Summerville.
First down, Summerville. Call on the field. They'll continue to push forward with 2 minutes 34 left.
So a break possibly for Summerville there. Gets the first down. Now let's see if the Bears can capitalize.
Leveros takes it with a designed run. It looked like he could have broke free, but instead it was Brandon Hensel, the senior, able to wrap him up.
Yeah, and like you said, that was straight up design quarterback run. There was no read involved. It was just, here it is, quarterback power. And a good job there by Sonora of holding it to a 5-yard gain. Looked like it was going to be a little bit more than that. So
on the season, Leveros 300 rushing yards, 51 attempts, and 14 rushing touchdowns. His longest of the season was 50 yards. And his quarterback rating, it's gone up and down, but through the season, 124.5, which is near perfect. Lopez is going to wrap for Leveros, have him as an option, but Leveros finds a hole for a first down and to the 32. A large gain, probably the largest by the legs of any Summerville player in this game.
Yeah, and this is kind of what Summerville needs to keep going is Leveros kind of put it on his back and say, hey, I'm going to will this to at least get a score here before halftime and kind of cut into this lead. Remember, Summerville gets the ball to start the second half too.
1 minute and counting. Leveros on 1st and 10. He's ran the last few himself. He'll go back to the air with a pass to Colton Cash, and he's unable to grip the turf for any gain.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hit that extra button. We'll get you a replay here so you can see it. But Leveros rolls out. Cash just slips and falls, only gains a yard.
51 seconds, Summerville with the ball in just a moment.
Auto Septic Service Incorporated. Full-service septic installation, maintenance, and repair. With over 25 years experience serving the needs of Tuolumne, Calaveras, and Mono counties, Sean Dar and the El Dorado Septic team are your trusted name in local quality septic services. Go to ElDoradoSeptic.com. That's ElDoradoSeptic.com. Service done right.
At Caldwell Insurance, our local team is dedicated to providing you with quality personal and commercial insurance programs.
Whether it's for your home, autos, farm, or business, our professional team of agents can find the best.
Sonora 28, Summerville nothing. This pass had a wide open chance to be intercepted. Austin Craig, the senior, just couldn't hold on and wasn't really prepared for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it just hits him right in the hands. Just unaware it was there almost. Instead, brings up a 3rd and 9.
Leveros on 3rd and 9, rolling left. He's a right-handed thrower, has to get rid of it. Finds Luca Peterson. He's only taken a few offensive snaps where he actually gets to touch the ball. And if we go all the way back to week 3 of the season versus Waterford, that was his first game of the year. He took a few snaps after Summerville had such a large lead, but all he did was hand the ball off a little bit. So here getting his actual first offensive play where he gets to make a move with the ball.
Yeah, and he's played defense pretty well and intercepted a couple passes, knocked down some big plays. So it's good to see him getting a chance to go out there and play some slot receiver for Summerville.
Going to have a stoppage of play coming from the Sonora sideline. And the Wildcats will take their first timeout of the first half with only 8 seconds left in the quarter.
Service is here tonight to bring you Bears football. They specialize in comprehensive tree maintenance and removal. The skilled arborists and staff at Nate's Tree Service have over 30 years experience serving residential and commercial clients in Amador, Calaveras, Tuolumne, and Mariposa counties. They bring their unique understanding of the trees of the western slope of the Sierra to a wide range of tasks related to tree health, maintenance, and removal. Sierra Pacific is proud to support Summerville Bears football. At Sierra Pacific Industries, we understand our greatest strength is the people who choose to build a career with us. We offer many opportunities for personal and professional growth, from entry-level to skilled trades, from truck drivers to sales managers, from foresters to engineers. Become one of our valued team members.
Summerville, possibly one final chance to find the end zone before heading to the half. Leveros will stay in the pocket to throw. The offensive line is holding, and they have Peterson inside the 5. It is caught with 2 seconds left on the clock at the 4-yard line. Summerville calls a timeout, and now right at the goal line. Can they put points on the board before the half? We'll find out here. Leveros, look at that offensive line holding for Leveros to throw the ball, and it is Luca Peterson. We had mentioned no offensive plays besides handing the ball off 3 or 4 times during the Waterford game, and here getting back-to-back plays that changes the first half.
No, absolutely, and this is huge. Summerville can get points on the board here on this last play of the game. I mean, you could almost say, hey, kick the field goal, but I don't think that's going to help you any. So you got to go for the touchdown. You got to get points here, and then you get the ball to start the second half. That gives you momentum. It gives you a chance to score twice before Sonora gets the ball again. And so that's one of those things where everybody talks about it in college and NFL. You get a chance to double up. Well, here it is. You got a chance to score and then go to halftime, get the ball back, and score again. And that would cut the lead in half and put you back in the football game.
Average final score between Sonora and Summerville since 2014 has been 38.8 to 13.4. Sonora, of course, having that bigger average. But here, Summerville has a chance to make it 28-7 at the half. Leveros gets rid of it. It is incomplete to Luca Peterson, and that's how we end the half. Summerville Bears fall short as we now only have 24 minutes left to play, and the Wildcats doing what they do best, 28-0.
We got a penalty on Leveros, too, the quarterback. He's talking to the officials, yelling at them.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 3 of the offense. That penalty enforced on the opening kickoff
of the second half. So things really unraveling for Summerville here. Down 28-0, and your quarterback getting a penalty at the end of the quarter or end of the half. Now, one side of you says, okay, hey, he's fiery, he's showing his emotion. But at the other time, you're hurting your team by getting the 15-yard penalty, and if you get another one, you're ejected and done. So, and then if that scenario plays out, you're out for the playoffs next week. So got to control your emotions here, especially in the second half.
Eldorado's Septic halftime report will be right before the third quarter, but for now, we will have the cheerleaders out on the field You've been watching the Summerville Sonora League title game on NorCal Sports TV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful and historic Sonora High School's Dunleavy Field. Long recognized by USA Today as one of America's 10 most beautiful places to watch high school football. Tonight's halftime features another longtime Wildcat tradition, senior night for the Golden Regiment, the most awesome band in the universe. Tonight also marks the 40th anniversary of the modern version of the Golden Regiment. More on that in just a second. The band will now play Baba O'Reilly. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back tonight from sunny Kansas, the founder of the Golden Regiment Band in 1983, Dr. Pat Sieben. He's here in town to help celebrate the band's 40th anniversary and will now present to you the Golden Regiment's senior members and four-year members.
The Golden Regiment would like to recognize their senior members. Josh Casillas, Julian Lomas, and Maddie Vera. And the Golden Regiment members who have served the band for 4 years. Victoria Bonilla, Sierra Drake, Brendan Foster, Nathan Highsmith, Joa Milan, Olivia Nichols, Nev O'Day, Jofer Orfiano, Trent Waldy, Evan Ibarra, and Senior Drum Major Ella West. The Golden Regiment, under the direction of Yvonne and Tobin Denton, will now perform Gangnam Style.
I can see that. It's not bad.
Your trusted local solar installer. We are family owned and locally operated. We offer financing with zero money down and 0% interest. Own your solar system while cutting your energy costs in half. Call us today for a low-cost estimate and start saving. Or check us out online at www.solarworx.energy. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Jerimie Zamora, your Sonora Edward Jones financial advisor, understands this. That's why Jerimie Zamora is a proud sponsor of Sonora High Wildcat football on NorCal Sports TV. For all your investment needs, call
Up the jam, pump it up while your feet is stumping. And the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Up the jam, pump it up while your feet is stumping. And the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Then come on up the jam. Then going up in the best I want. So pop it because you know I'm how like fuck, then I'm how like love. That's what you get. Summerville Bears.
Upside down and inside out. Upside down and inside out. Upside down and inside out. Show what the fuck it's all about. Showstoppers, what I give them every day. Yeah, we are the champions. Okay, okay, okay. Doing it bigger, we running the state. Stepping in this and they yelling the name. Coming the window, we ain't here to play. Better watch out when we coming your way.
Thank you, ladies.
Solarworx, your trusted local solar installer. We are family owned and locally operated. We offer financing with zero money down and 0% interest. Own your solar system while cutting your energy costs in half. Call us today for a low-cost estimate and start saving. Or check us out online at www.solarworx.energy. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Jerimie Zamora, your Sonora Edward Jones financial advisor, understands this. That's why Jerimie Zamora is a proud sponsor of Sonora High Wildcat football on NorCal Sports TV. For all your investment needs, call 209-536-0422 or visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hello, Bears fans! Black Oak Casino Resort is very proud to help bring you tonight's live streaming of the Summerville Bears football game. If you haven't been to Black Oak Casino Resort recently, now is the time to come by and check us out. Whether you enjoy the entertainment at Willow Creek Lounge, the 5-star RV park, the beautiful Black Oak Hotel and Conference Center, the bowling alley and family fun center, all the games our casino offers, or the fine dining at Seven Sisters Restaurant, it's all there waiting for you. Thank you for watching and supporting Bears football. Enjoy the game.
Lupo. It's a name synonymous with real estate in Tuolumne County and has been for more than 30 years. The latest member of the Lupo family to join the Tuolumne County real estate family is Leanne Lupo at Keller Williams Agency. Leanne is a Tuolumne County native and knows how special the place we call home is. A hard worker who truly cares about her clients. Leanne is a special talent. And Leanne is a Summerville High School graduate and huge Bears supporter, so give her a call and see what she can do to help you. If you see her around town, please thank her for helping to make tonight's live stream possible.
The 2023 tussle in Tuolumne. Sonora Wildcats leading the Summerville Bears at the half, 28-0. I'm the voice of choice, Levi Flores. Jerimie Hurtado with me. Danny Scott also joining our team. You've heard his voice here and there throughout the season and here and there through the broadcast as well. Thanks to our cameramen, Avery Townsell and Josiah Dewey. And as we get set for the second half, Danny has been doing all the stats for us, and I'm going to hand the microphone over to him. Jerimie, join him here too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting second half here as we're about a minute and a half away from kickoff. Danny, you got the stats for us. Why don't you give us a quick breakdown?
I do. So for the Wildcats, Curnow has 92 yards and a touchdown through the air, 4 for 6. On the ground, he has 9 yards on 2 carries and a touchdown. Peoples, 39 yards on 6 carries. Byington, 33 yards. Nicholson, 35 yards on 3 carries and 2 touchdowns. And then Gardner, 14 yards and 2 carries. Through the air from Curnow, 12 yards for Spear and a receiving touchdown. And Nicholson, 80 yards on 3 receptions. And then on the Summerville side, a lot less to go off of for them. But Levros, 6 for 11, 46 yards. And Brajas on the trick play, 1 for 1 for 18 yards. On the ground, the Summerville rushing attack has looked pretty bleak so far through the first half. Brajas, their leading rusher on the year, negative 2 yards on 3 carries. Hike, 4 yards on 3 carries. Levros, 28 yards on 5 carries. And Cash, negative 2 yards on 4 carries. Through the air, Brajas leading the way in receptions with 12 yards on 3 receptions. Peters, 18 yards on the 1 reception from Brajas. Cash, 1 yard on 1 reception on that play that he slipped. And then Peterson, a name that we have not called very much this season, 33 yards on 2 receptions in that first half.
So, Danny, I'm going to ask you a question here, right? If you're Summerville, what do you do to get back in this game in the second half?
I think you're going to have to go back to the air. It seems like it's been the only thing that's been able to gain any traction for Summerville. You're down 4 touchdowns. You're going to have to start to crawl your way back into this. And the the Sonora defense has done a great job of shutting down the run. You can see there are 3 leading ball carriers, a combined total of 0 yards. So you got to go and look back into the air, arsenal attack, and that's how you're going to have to try to crawl back into this.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for being here doing stats. We'll check back in with you after the game. So one thing to remember, too, is right at the end of the half, Summerville gave up the 15-yard penalty, so Sonora's kicking off, but they're kicking off from the Summerville 45-yard line.
This has been your Eldorado Septic halftime report. For full-service septic installation, maintenance, and repair in Tuolumne, Calaveras, Hermano County. Go to ElDoradoSeptic.com. And thanks for sponsoring once again Eldorado Septic through the season and all of our other proud Summerville Bear football sponsors and Sonora Wildcat football sponsors throughout the season. You're bringing all the Wildcat home games and all season long with Summerville. And with Barajas receiving this ball in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback for high school sports.
Yeah, I don't think he knew that because he was trying to run it out. And the official's like, no, you can't do that. Once the ball crosses the goal line, it's a dead ball in high school. One of the stats Danny didn't get a chance to talk about was penalty yards. So far, Summerville has 43 yards in penalties. Sonora has 30, so something to keep an eye on there as well. We talked about it during the JV game and then early in the first half of this game as emotions high, and you got to control those if you're going to win a football game.
In last year's matchup between Summerville and Sonora, there was only 8 total penalties as we have that forward pitch pass to Orlando Lopez. And on the initial start, it looks like Summerville's going to do well. They just have to break past that line, but then they can't. And that's what's been stopping them, is that Sonora defense. Obviously, they're the one stopping them. But when you look at it, there's almost no line of defense. It's just one thin line, but Sonora is still able to stop it.
Yeah, and it's almost like a missed tackle there as well, or a missed block, rather, is what caused the situation for Summerville that time. But you're right. If he gets past that, there was some grass there for him to take out. So we'll see if they come back to that here quickly.
Lopez on the wrap. Leveros with a little protection has one man in his way, and he throws it incomplete to Barajas. Too much speed going the corner rather than cutting inside to grasp the ball.
And again, 55 just chasing him down for Sonora. You see him right there just putting the pressure on. And No chance for him to complete that pass. Brings up a 3rd and 10.
Leveros, 2-step drop back. Leveros caught up with for a loss of 2.
Craig making the stop.
Craig there gets credit for the tackle, but again, number 55 for the Wildcats.
Chance Davis.
Chance Davis making the initial pressure there as you see him chasing him down. And then the ball came loose. They said Leveros was down, though. His Sonora came away with it, and that's a break for Summerville, because if that was the situation, Sonora would be on about the 15-yard line.
To receive for the Wildcats.
Leveros and the Bears forced to punt once more, as Leveros will take a second, keep this one low and bouncing out the 40 straight out of bounds to the Summerville sideline. Sonora will get more great field position. And when we go back a year to the last time Sonora and Summerville played, we expected a run game from Summerville because that's what their game is based off of. Well, in the game against Sonora, the scripts had flipped, in which Braylon Leveros, the older brother, last year's senior quarterback, went 17 of 30 passing, which was the only game in which Summerville had more passing plays than rushing plays. And the way that this is rolling right now, well, it seems like Summerville might have to result in the passing game this year too.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I mean, they haven't been able to run the football at all against the Sonora defense.
And the Sonora offense, no matter who gets a hand on them, they continue to push forward. That's a 4-yard gain on first down.
And Byington doing a great job of making guys miss. Probably the hardest working 4-yard play you're going to see. Gets out of the Barajas tackle, slips another one, and finally Castonia able to bring him down.
4-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 6.
Second down and 6 as Sonora breaks free. It's Audie Peoples trying to cut past Leveros but can't do so. Another first down in the high red zone. Sonora is again.
And the Cats just running that dive play that time. Peoples takes it, runs by a guy, and then good offensive line play, double team up to the linebacker, just collapsing down on the linebacker, and finally the safety, Leveros, able to come up and make the tackle, but not before a big gain for the Wildcats.
Curnow drops back to throw, goes high to the corner. It is caught and incomplete. Foot out of bounds first. That was Brody Spear, the target, the reception, but just on the white instead of the green.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of those situations where you try to throw him and give him some room to go get it. You see here on the replay, I can't tell. It's cut off. So we're going to say he was probably out of bounds. Officials usually get it right, probably 98% of the time. So, hey, I like the aggressiveness by Sonora, though.
I'm not going to lie. Live, I thought a foot was in. It looked good. 98% of the time, you're just making up numbers.
98% of the time, the officials get it right.
Here's a run up the gut for Sonora, gaining 5 yards, is the senior Audie Peoples.
And, of course, that is 98% of the time when I'm up here broadcasting, the officials get it right.
When
Because Danny Scott looked at me as soon as I said it, went, really? And I was like, okay, when I'm not coaching, that's the scenario.
Curnow with the keep.
Turnover ball carrier, out of bounds at the 13.
All right, Jerimie, you ready for trivia question number 4?
Sure, let's go.
In 2001, USA Today said Sonora's High Dunleavy Field was one of the nation's top 10 places to watch a high school football game. Just 4 years later, Sonora was granted field turf for the first time thanks to NBC's 3 Wishes. Although the field was first dedicated to Vernon Dunleavy in 1953, what year was Dunleavy Field built? Here is Nicholson. He's had multiple touchdowns, and he has another touchdown, Sonora. Bryce Nicholson, 3rd touchdown of the game.
Absolutely.
He goes past Curran, and the last line, Tristan Barajas couldn't get there in time.
Just that triple option, nice late pitch, and gets the corner. Again, that outside contain, causing problems. Cats getting into the end zone again, 35 pending the extra point here, 35-0.
Jerimie, the junior, with another extra point. Up into the tuba section of the Golden Regiment, makes it 35-0. Sonora Wildcats on top, the Summerville Bears.
United Insurance Services offers quality insurance coverage, a high level of professional service, and a long-term relationship. They have several locations throughout California to serve your needs, including Elk Grove, Lodi, Napa, Roseville, Sonora, Walnut Creek, and Minden, Nevada. As independent agents, they'll research rates and coverage from top insurance companies to find the best insurance rates and insurance plans for you. They do the shopping and comparing, so you can save time and money. Hello, Bear fans! Boyer Construction is proud to help bring you tonight's broadcast of Summerville Bears football. For over 30 years, they've proudly served our communities with an uncompromising commitment.
Bryce Nicholson with his third touchdown of the game makes it 35-0. Here's the Summerville switcheroo. It is Orlando Lopez who keeps it with the fake toss to Barajas. He glides through a couple of players and gets to the 26, in which the Summerville Bears will have somewhat decent field position from some of the previous times.
All right, Levi, read the question again for us.
Okay, the question for trivia question number 4. Instead of going through all the history, I'll just ask the question. What year was Dunleavy Field built?
See, I was looking for all the backstory.
Okay.
Again,
Backstory. In 2001, USA Today said Sonora High's Dunleavy Field was one of the nation's top 10 places to watch a high school football game. Just 4 years later, Sonora was granted field turf for the first time thanks to NBC's 3 Wishes. Although the field was first dedicated to Vernon Dunleavy in 1953, what year was Dunleavy Field built?
So that's the part I was looking for. Thank you. That 1953 scenario.
Leveros, instead of throwing it away, just walks out of bounds.
So Danny and I were kind of trying to talk this out during the break, and I kind of feel like we're on the same page there. So I'm going to say that the field was built in 1949.
1949 is what you say, and Danny Scott says 1935. You can play along with this trivia game on the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. We already have one guess from Larry Blackmore. Thanks for commenting, playing along. Join him there.
Blackmore might have been here when it was built.
Oh, no comment.
I mean, he's coached here. He's been here a while before moving to Idaho, so he might have a better idea than, say, I do. He's a Sonora High guy, but yeah, I mean, we'll walk you through our thought process here in a little bit on this one, because I don't know, just something to do, I guess.
3rd and 7, Leveros rolling, throwing, caught by Larson, and the big hit, the takedown, and a late push by Nicholson. 2 flags fly. Nicholson doesn't know what he did wrong, but
that was
pretty obvious from up here.
Yeah, and then it's just unnecessary too. You're already up 35-0, right? You make a big play, you bid a big hit, and then you throw the runner down again. I mean, and he's going to say, well, I didn't know if he was down all the way. But that's just going to add on to the Sonora High penalties, and that's going to be 45 yards now total in penalties for the Cats.
So Luke Larson was the receiver there, gaining a few yards, and then, of course, the 15 extra afterwards. But Luke Larson on the season, he has a passing touchdown. He's 1 of 3 in passing for 54 yards, in which he found, I believe it was Brody Peters was on the receiving end of his touchdown throw. But he also has a receiving touchdown, and he is 3 of 3 now on the season for 34 yards and 1 receiving touchdown. Here's Nicholas Rogers. I believe this is his first carry of the night, and he is the fourth leading ball carrier for Summerville.
Yeah, it is his first carry of the night as far as I remember, and a positive, one of the best runs for the night for Summerville. Rogers able to pick up 12 and a first down.
It is his first carry of the night, and for Rogers, 46 carries on the season for 252 yards. Also, 6 rushing touchdowns, which is the third most behind Bryce Leveros and Austin Hike.
Danny Scott's telling us it was the second carry of the night, so now his third.
How about 4? This will go nowhere. 2nd and 10 for Summerville, and we were just talking about a few of the touchdowns and scoring players for Summerville. Bryce Leveros has 14 rushing touchdowns. Austin Hike has 7. Nicholas Rogers has 6. But here is one. We're not going to get a chance to throw it out there, but the third leading scorer for Summerville is the sophomore kicker, Bryson Benitez. He has 47 total points on the season.
Yeah, he's been perfect on the season, too. Hasn't missed the extra point. Now, he's missed a few field goal attempts, but perfect on extra points this year, so shout out to him, too.
Bryson Benitez ranked number 1 in the Sac Joaquin section Division 6 for kickers, number 2 in the Sac Joaquin section as a whole for kickers, and number 8 in the entire state of California for kickers. And he's only a sophomore. You got to remember that part, most important part.
Yeah, absolutely. He comes from a family of soccer players, so it's kind of a good indicator that he's going to be able to kick a football for a while. Because we know he jumped in at basically the end of summer practices and started kicking. So didn't have a lot of experience coming into that first game. Seems like he's been all right with it, though.
Leveros throws over to Barajas. He finds the 40-yard line, but it's 4th and 5. Also, going back to Bryson Benitez for a moment, kickoffs on average, he goes 36 yards, and of course you have to tail in some other factors into that, but he also has 4 onside kicks that have been recovered.
Yeah, absolutely. He does a great job at those. Obviously, him and his kicking coach work on it. But, it's one of those things. As a sophomore, he's been very effective for Summerville, so chance to just keep working on it and getting better as he gets older.
Fourth and 5 for Summerville. They need to find the 36 of Sonora. Lopez from right to left. Extra protection. Leveros rolling left. He cuts up, wants to do it himself, and he is going to fight for it, but the ball came out after he got there, and Sonora falls on it. The turnover, Wildcat football.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just a situation of trying to fight for more yards as he rolls out, doesn't see anything, tries to get the first down himself, and right here just gets it popped out of his hands, and Nicholson, right place, right time, comes away with it, and another big play goes the way of the Wildcats.
Now I believe it's Bryce Leveros who's being checked out for Summerville. Got a nod from Danny Scott. So as Leveros is being checked out, 5 minutes left in the third quarter, Sonora leads 35-0.
Oh, it's a name synonymous with real estate in Tuolumne County and has been for more than 30 years. The latest member of the Lupo family to join the Tuolumne County real estate family is Leanne Lupo at Keller Williams Agency. Leanne is a Tuolumne County native and knows how special the place we call home is. A hard worker who truly cares about her clients. Leanne is a special talent. And Leanne is a Summerville High School graduate and huge Bear supporter, so give her a call and see what she can do to help you. If you see her around town, please thank her for helping to make tonight's live stream possible.
Hello, Bears fans. The Bears.
In 2001, USA Today said Sonora High's Dunleavy Field was one of the nation's top 10 places to watch a high school football game. Just 4 years later, Sonora was granted field turf for the first time thanks to NBC's Three Wishes.
Amy
Although
Grant.
the field was... Yep.
Shout out, Amy Grant.
Okay, Jerimie, don't need to give out your celebrity crushes.
Hey, that's all right. I'm not ashamed of it.
Here's another handoff to Peoples, who only gets a yard on 2nd and 5. But although the field was first dedicated to Vernon Dunleavy in 1953, what year was Dunleavy Field built? Larry Blackmore says 1950. Jerimie, you
I said 49.
And Danny Scott said 1935, but he's since changed his answer to 1936 as Curnow hurdles over Barajas for the first down.
All right, give us the answer.
The official answer, Dunleavy Field was first built in 1937.
Oh, Danny, you were right on there. Get you one for you.
Just 1 year away, but
See,
we'll still give them a point.
See, now my thought process was they probably had a field that they played, and me and Danny talked about this probably at the high school or at the fairgrounds a little bit before having an on-campus field, but apparently not. Good for them.
Also, for those of you who do not like the bleachers here at Dunleavy Field, as we have a breakaway play for Declan Gardiner, who's tripped up by Luke Larson and given away to Luca Peterson. Bears force a turnover.
Absolutely, Gardner got the big run, but didn't hang on to the football. As we see here on the replay, Larson comes and punches it right out, drops right into the hands of Peterson.
And
off
how
the
about that
bounce.
from Larson, too? He punched the ball out. He didn't celebrate. He went right to blocking for Peterson.
Yeah, great job of playing defense, and that's
Bears first and 10.
another big turnover for the Wildcats on offense that time.
7 tackles by Luke Larson, and now a forced fumble in the mix, too. Tight offense for Summerville. Bryce Leveros back on the field. Good to see him there, too. It's Nicholas Rogers. Loss of 2.
Yeah, he's back on the field, but I don't think he's feeling quite right. He's holding that left rib area, hip situation there. So we'll see how that plays out, if that hinders him at all. And there might be a fumble down here again, as there's still a pilot down there. I don't know. Officials are talking to people. Helmets coming off. All kinds of stuff going on down there.
Number 10, Craig making the tackle on that play for Sonora.
Okay, just a loss of 2, call it. So 2nd and 12.
Summerville at this point, with only 3 minutes left in the third quarter, just trying to avoid the shutout. And since Sonora rejoined the Motherlode League back in 2014, Summerville has not been shut out by the Sonora Wildcats, and they want to keep it that way just for the history books. Colton Cash gaining 4, but only 2 yards past the original line of scrimmage for 3rd and 8. Going into a little more history just from the past 10 years between Sonora and Summerville. Sonora has scored 350 points. Summerville only 121 for an average final score of 39-14. No shutouts. The closest game was the 2021 season, where it was April in which they played football. Gabe Milborn was on that team for Sonora, as Barajas will overthrow Peters, and a flag is going to fly from the way back, Judge. Maybe offensive pass interference.
That's the only way I can see this going. It's offensive pass interference. He's got a cat down, cramping up there. Good thing it's a cramp. But yeah,
I don't know if I agree with this call. He was still going for the ball. It was up above his head. I just don't see it going either way.
Defense number 36.
Danny Scott's nodding his head yes.
Okay, let's take a look here again, because I was watching the official. Here's the pass. I don't know. Maybe it was before the throw. I don't know. Regardless, Summerville gets a first down that's badly needed, so.
Leveros and Cash step forward together. Cash doesn't have the speed. Cash Byington instead makes the stop for Sonora.
Yeah, Battle of the Cash is won by Byington.
Nice.
Byington able to, you'll see here on the replay, just grabs a right ankle and hold on and spin. Brings him down for a loss of 2.
It was Byington's first tackle, and it's a tackle for loss.
Second down and 12.
So the closest game between Sonora and Summerville was April 2nd, 2021, in which the final score is 20-14. Sonora just edging ahead. That was Gabe Milborn on the Sonora team, and who is now at Oregon State. Go Beavers. Then the largest margin of victory was, of course, Sonora, as they have won every year. In the first year in league, October 10th, 2014, in which Sonora won 55-13 with a 42-point margin.
Yeah, we got a couple players down for Sonora. 2 defensive linemen cramping up down there on the sideline, so they're going to have to make some adjustments. And still got 1 down. I don't think anybody on the trainer situation even realizes there's a second player down.
Sonora has never scored less than 3 touchdowns in a game versus Summerville, and Summerville has scored more than 3 touchdowns only twice, being in 2015 and 2017. As they are helping off Ryan Gibbs, we'll go into trivia question number 5. The last time Summerville won the Motherlode League title was in 2009 when the Bears were led by junior quarterback Zach Roberson. The 2009 offense averaged 33 points per game. At this point in the season, Who scored more offensive touchdowns, the 2009 Bears or the 2023 Bears? Answer this question on the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. We'll get Jerimie and Danny's answers in just a moment.
Well, I like this one. We got 50-50 chance, Danny. If one of us picks one and one picks the other, we got it made.
This pass was overthrown to Luca Peterson.
Danny locks in his answer right away and says this one did. I'm going to go with the 09 team because I think that this is a trick question by Levi because it says offensive touchdowns. So I'm thinking that the special teams and the defensive touchdowns that this team scored is gonna be the situation. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Put your comments on the NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. We're awaiting your answers, and we'll wait until the start of the fourth quarter to give away the answer.
Because he's tricky like that sometimes. You got to be careful with him.
Leveros's punt drops dead in its tracks. 46-yard line, Sonora again.
It's going kind of slow down here in the second half so far. Unlike our JV game that exploded in the third quarter, this one only 7 points so far in the third quarter. Is got a minute and 15 or minute 19 left.
Byington, ball carrier.
Byington flopped down by the Summerville defense. Another gain of 2.
Had a couple turnovers that have kind of helped that non-scoring situation too here in the third quarter.
Byington wraps around. It's a handoff to Peoples. And like a fish, slippery, moving left and right. His arms are tucked into the body, so he just looks like one motion going up and down. And somehow that leads to so many extra yards for his high school football rushing career.
Cats quickly back at the line of scrimmage.
Curnow pulls this one out and will be pushed out of bounds at the line to gain. Call it a first.
Leveros and Barajas in there for stop for the Bears.
Going to continue to run the clock in the final 20 seconds. And with all these back and forth between Sonora and Summerville, everyone always asks the question, has Summerville ever beat Sonora? And 99.9% of the people say no, they've never done it. But in 1963, Summerville beat Sonora, although the game was considered a scrimmage. And Summerville went undefeated in the 1962 and 63 season when Coach Elkin's father played and won the MLL title both years. But you say, oh, that's a scrimmage, it doesn't count. However, in 1960, with yearbook confirmation, Summerville beat Sonora with a final score of 12-0. So one time in history, Summerville does have a win against the Wildcats.
Scott's Distributing and Vending Service. For more than 23 years, Scott's Distributing and Vending Service has been locally owned and operated. Run by folks who have a vested interest in the success and prosperity of our local economy. Learn more about our full-line vending machine services, office coffee service, and janitorial supplies by visiting scottsdistributing.net. That's scottsdistributing.net. Or by calling 209-736-0963.
Benton Roberson CPA's passion is helping people achieve business success and financial independence. While we certainly provide...
Switching sides of the field, Sonora now going from left to right. It's Cash Byington slipping a shoestring tackle and has plenty more to go. Brody Peters cutting the legs. Barajas pushing him out of bounds, but Cash Byington is now down on the track with a cramp.
Yeah, it's awfully interesting that everybody's cramping. Oh, that's right. Section rules running clock. So
Cash Byington will be attended to as he'll have a filler in his place on the field inside the 10. First and goal for Sonora. We see Cash Byington just getting tripped up left and right, leading to a few muscle spasms and tweaks, and you see him just...
Yeah, a lot of Sonora guys cramping here, and that's kind of unusual. It's not like it's a warm day. It's really actually pretty chilly. And
Curnow to throw. The receiving touchdown will be caught for the touchdown.
And he's down with a cramp.
I believe, if not mistaken, that is Ryan Lale. No, excuse me. Brody Spear is the one who was able to reel that in for the Sonora touchdown. That is his second touchdown of the night.
And he's able to get up and looks like he's coming off, actually staying in the game. But
Spear's first touchdown was a 12-yard reception. That time an 8-yard reception, both coming from the air. And Jerimie, extra point attempt, good. 42-0, Wildcats in the Motherlode League title game, dominating the Summerville Bears.
Ranch Casino is a proud sponsor of the Summerville Bears Quarterback Club, and they support Summerville High student athletes. By working together, Chicken Ranch Casino believes we can all help elevate each and every student athlete's game, both on the field and in the classroom.
Brody Spear with his second receiving touchdown of the night puts the Wildcats up 42-0 over the Summerville Bears. I'm the voice of choice, Levi Flores. He's Jerimie Hurtado. Danny Scott with us as well. We have a Miners Tree Company kickoff for the Wildcats as Jerimie will be ready to send it back to Orlando Lopez and Tristan Barajas. Barajas received at the 6. He wants a return. The middle gets him to the 26-yard line. A good return. And we'll go back to our fifth trivia question. The last time Summerville won the Motherlode League title was in 2009 when the Bears were led by junior quarterback Zach Roberson. The 2009 offense averaged 33 points per game. At this point in the season, who scored more offensive touchdowns, the 2009 Summerville team or this year, the 2023 Summerville Bears? Jerimie?
I say it's 09. Danny Scott says it's this year, so... And again, I think it's because you're trying to give us some kind of trick question with the offensive part of the question.
Larry Blackmore says the 2009 Bears as well. Joining you, Jerimie. Don Perkins says he should know, but he doesn't, as Leveros will be throwing to Lopez and just slightly overthrown. But the answer to this, the 2009 Bears with 44 offensive touchdowns, only one more than what this year's team did at this point in the season.
Yes, thank you.
And I understand why Danny would say this year's team as well, averaging 46 points per game, but there has been some defensive touchdowns. There's been kickoff returns as well that don't count in there either.
And last week's game hurt them too, correct? Yeah, good job, Danny. But I knew that there had to be some kind of trickiness in there if it was Levi asking the question. You got any more of those trivia questions for us? We got one more?
We do have one more.
All right, good. Give us something to do in the last 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Let me get this ready for our Facebook viewers and the players playing along.
3-yard gain, third down and 7.
And, of course, that was our last Summerville question. And with Sonora in a 42-point lead, we'll go back to that side. And here's the question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Each year, the Motherlode League gives honors to student athletes as Most Valuable Player, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Lineman of the Year, and many more. In the 8 seasons of the Motherlode League giving these awards out, while Sonora has been in the league, how many Most Valuable Player awards has Sonora produced?
Yeah, I knew that was going to be the question as soon as I heard your follow in or lead in. Oh, and this one I should know because I've been part of the league most of the time.
4th and long, Leveros to kick again. He's actually going to follow some blockers and have the room to get there. First down, Summerville, keeping the ball in the last 6.5 minutes. Play along with this trivia question. It's the final one of the night.
Okay,
NorCal's Voice of Choice Facebook page. We'll wait until the final 2 minutes to give you the answer. So you have 4.5 minutes to get your guesses in. 8 seasons since Sonora has been in the league. How many Most Valuable Player awards has Sonora produced? Danny, were you one of those? Just kidding. I'm sorry. That was mean.
No, Danny went to Bret Hart his senior year. But Okay, I have a number that makes sense to me in my head, so I'll hang on to it for a minute.
Leveros, quarterback keep.
Leveros, the ball carrier.
5 yards on first down. 2nd and 5 now.
Danny, got an answer? I speak for Danny. He can just give me the number.
He's thinking about it.
He's still thinking?
Most outstanding is more important.
5-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 5.
I think they went 8 for 8 on most outstanding. 0.
Interesting. Okay. So those you couldn't hear, Danny said he was going to go 0 for MVP because most outstanding was more important, which could be a situation. But I'm going to go 6.
So we have the guesses of 6 and 0.
Cooley on the stop.
Larry Blackmore says 7.
No gain, 3rd down and 5.
Don Perkins saying 8, and Danny switching his answer to 3.
His answer to 3.
3rd and 5 for Summerville. Looking to avoid the shutout. They have 60 yards to go, and Barajas will make them 5 yards closer as we have a tangle up on the Summerville sideline. Don't forget, after the game as well, we'll have our post-game show and the Black Oak Casino Resort Player of the Game, in which we will award the Player of the Game to one for Sonora, one for Summerville. First down for Summerville on that previous play. 48-yard line on their own side of the field. Leveros will follow Cash. He'll get a couple more on first down, make it a gain of 4. And now Jerimie, we know Sonora's going to take this one. And midway through the season, the section had announced that Sonora High will be playing in the Division 6 Sac Joaquin section playoffs, in which changed immensely the look at the playoff picture for all D6 teams. Sonora usually playing in D5, occasionally making it to the section title game versus Escalon. It's just been an ongoing tradition between the two teams. Right now, first 4 teams get a first-round bye, as Lopez here losing a few yards on the play. But Sutter currently stands at number 1. Probably not going to change unless the section does something a little bit out of hand there, but Sutter should get that number 1 slot, especially being so close in a game against 12 Bridges, who is a higher-seeded team that is going to be close to that number 1 seed too. But Sutter, number 1, Sonora at 2, Bradshaw, Christian, and Houston. They're going to get first-round byes. Then after that, as it stands now, it could change by Sunday, but Union Mine is number 5, Colfax is 6, Summerville is 7, Liberty Ranch is 8, in which those teams will have a first-round home game. And they will play Bear River at 9, Marysville at 10, Ripon at 11, Wheatland at 12. But all this can change because of the rules in how many wins you need to get into the playoffs. And here another big tackle by the Sonora defense, Bryce Nicholson. And there is the late flag, and this could be personal foul number 2 on Nicholson.
Dropped by number 14, Nicholson.
Yeah, I don't see any change coming.
It's number 2.
First down.
To the seating as far as Sutter, I think they're going to stay the number 1 seed unless some miracle happens. But I think Sonora is going to wrap up the number 2 spot for sure after winning tonight against Summerville.
Nicholas Rogers pushing the line. Great gain for Rogers. He's actually going to gain 10.
Rogers, the ball carrier.
Now we're inside 2 minutes, so I won't hold you any longer. Each year, the Motherlode League gives honors to student athletes as MVP, OPOY, DPOY, Lineman of the Year, and many more. In the 8 seasons of the Motherlode League, giving these awards out while Sonora has been in the league, how many MVPs has Sonora produced? Jerimie, final answer.
I'm going to go 6.
Danny? He's going to say 3. And now Leveros trying to escape. Going to stay on his feet to the sideline and get out with no gain. 2nd and 10. Here's the final answer. Sonora has produced 9 MVPs in 8 years. There was a 3-way tie for MVP in 2016, and the MVP title is rarely shared, but Bradley Canepa, Kane Rogers, and Josh Harris shared the MVP title in 2016 for a total of 9 MVPs Sonora has produced while they've been in the Motherlode League.
Told you, Danny, there's always some kind of trick in the question for him.
10 seconds left. Byington celebrating. Sonora celebrating. 42-0. The only shutout caused by the Wildcats versus the Summerville Bears in the 10 years they have been in the Motherlode League.
Wildcats' next game likely will be in 2 weeks. They will entertain a home playoff game right here at Dunleavy Field.
63 years since Summerville took down Sonora in a legitimate game, and that streak will continue as the Wildcats have another victory at hand, 42-0. We have our
Bears fans, Nate Solon Mower is pleased to support tonight's Bears football broadcast. They're your go-to retailer when you need a steel project to do the job, at home or at work. Visit their store, where friendly, knowledgeable staff will assist you in finding the right steel for the job, whether it's a chainsaw, blower, trimmer, pressure washer, or anything in between. Nate's Solid Mower on Longeway Road in Sonora.
Hello, Bears fans. Black Oak Casino Resort is very proud to help bring you tonight's live streaming of the Summerville Bears football game. If you haven't been to Black Oak Casino Resort recently, now is the time to come by and check us out. Whether you enjoy the entertainment at Willow Creek Lounge, the 5-star RV park, the beautiful Black Oak Hotel and Conference Center, the bowling alley and family fun center, all the games our casino offers, or the fine dining at Seven Sisters Restaurant, it's all there waiting for you.
42-0 final. Sonora Wildcats take down the Summerville Bears. I'm the voice of choice, Levi Flores, Jerimie Hurtado, Danny Scott, Avery Townsell, Josiah Dewey, our NorCal Sports TV crew for tonight. We do have our Black Oak Casino Resort player of the games for both Sonora and Summerville. We'll talk about it a little bit. I have my number one option for Sonora Summerville. I've thought about it a little bit. I do have probably my top 2 contenders, but Jerimie, let me hear what you have.
Starting on the Sonora side, I mean, there's a couple guys that come to mind. Nicholson had a good game. I thought Spear had the 2 touchdown catches. If you got touchdown catches, you got to have touchdown throws. And so you always got to look at that and go with Curnow. But, I mean, I don't know. I think ultimately, it came down to Sonora. I'd like to hear what you think about the Sonora first before I make a decision. How's that?
Well, with Sonora, obviously had multiple touchdowns from multiple different players, especially Brody Spear, who had the 2 receiving touchdowns, but I think who made the biggest difference, although he had 2 personal fouls that didn't change the game any, but he did both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and it was the biggest part of the game. Bryce Nicholson.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the guy I was kind of leaning towards, but I wanted to see what you thought, give you a chance to talk it out. Yeah, Nicholson, I think, is a great choice for the player of the game for the Wildcats.
And for the Summerville side, thinking about it, offense, well, the offense just didn't continue to do what they did all season. They didn't have the points. They didn't have the plays. They marched down the field here and there, but they used so many different sorts of players. And Bryce Leveros, of course, you can always give it to him as he's in there on every single play. But I kind of want to lean defensive this time, as we did have one player that just outshined the rest of them, and he made a few big plays. He was present. This is actually 2 different players, Bryce Rathmill and Luke Larson.
Yeah, the name that kind of came out to me was Larson. He had, I believe, 7 tackles, forced fumble. I kind of feel like he did enough on defense to get the award tonight, and I think he kind of earned it. Rathmel had the one big hit, and that was a huge play at the time, but I just don't know if he had the number of plays that the other sophomore, Larson, did.
So I believe we're just going to solidify the finals here with Bryce Nicholson, Sonora High Black Oak Casino Resort Player of the Game. And on the other side, we will give it to Luke Larson, Black Oak Casino Resort Player of the Game. Escape your every day at Black Oak Casino Resort. Play, stay, and dine. The family fun floor is back open at the casino. Join them there. You can check out blackoakcasinoresort.com. Check out all the features that they have, not only on the family fun floor, but everywhere else as well. Jerimie, I'm going to give the headset over to Danny, and you guys talk a little bit about the stats and what happened throughout the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of curious how that played out. I know Summerville only had like 43 yards at the half. How'd that work out, Danny?
Yeah, not very well. Let me get this all in order. Kind of a lot of papers floating around right now. So Summerville, compared to their halftime stats, really didn't do a lot. Finishing the game, Levros was 10 for 19 with 72 yards. And if I can find the first half stats, I believe it's not very much more than that. Brajas finished the game with 2 yards on 4 carries. Hike finished the game with 5 yards on 4 carries. Levros rushing the ball had 50 yards on 10 carries. Cash 4 yards on 9 carries. Lopez had 1 rush, which resulted in -3 yards. And then in the second half, they gave the ball to Rogers a lot, 28 yards on 6 carries.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it kind of went how we saw it play out. I mean, Summerville just had a hard time moving the football overall. And how about on the Wildcat side?
On the Wildcat side, we're going to have to do some math as we move along here. Yeah. So Kerno finished the game 5 for 8 with 2 touchdowns, and I believe it is 20 plus 8 plus 37 plus 35.
Okay, so over 100 yards.
Over 100 yards.
Let's go with that. Good.
And then Byington was the main rusher for Sonora, finishing the game with 33 plus 8 plus 32. So I apologize for the stats not being ready, but
74-ish?
Right around there sounds about right. Yeah, so Kerno finished the game, I believe, with 100 yards on the dot, because he finished halftime with 92 yards and then had that 8-yard receiving touchdown for his second touchdown and 100 yards.
All right, well, that kind of sums up the stats. Levi, come back here and kind of talk about, finish up, wrapping this up.
On the screen, you have the 2022 Summerville offense, the 2023 Summerville offense, and then the same for Sonora 22 and 23. You see how different the teams are in their top leaders. It went from Braylon Leveros to Bryce Leveros, Kai Elkins to a bulk of running backs, Dean Tremoloni to Brody Peters, and then Dean Tremoloni kicking to Bryson Benitez kicking as well. There is no top performer on the Summerville offense that came over to this year. On the other hand, Adam Curnow and Audie Peoples were the only 2 returners, and they had to mix it up a little bit as well. But when you look at that, you know, Audie Peoples, Adam Curnow, of course, they're a fantastic group that work well together. But then you look at all the other performers that came into this game for Sonora, Byington, Nicholson, Gardiner, Spear, everyone else. It was all the players that didn't return from last year and weren't a top performer. So now you look at this, and the Sonora Wildcats just outperformed, overperformed, and they're going to head into the playoffs with the first-round bye.
Yeah, absolutely, and they do get the bye. They're going to deserve it, and so they get to rest up a little bit and get better. Summerville, probably like you say, going to get the chance to host a home game next week in the playoffs. Should be interesting. Can't wait till Sunday to get those brackets figured out, because it's going to be interesting to see how things go in the Division 6.
The Sonora Wildcats, 16 Mother Lode League titles in history, 9 straight since 2014. For Jerimie Hurtado, Danny Scott, Avery Townsend, Josiah Dewey, our entire NorCal Sports TV crew, we thank you for watching all season long to Summerville Bear football and Sonora Wildcat football. Once again, I'm the voice of choice, Levi Flores. Until next year, this has been NorCal Sports TV.